Ah, the Royal Ghost. The newest card added to Clash Royale. Well, I guess not the newest, it was sort of added at the same time as Hunter and Zappies, but it wasn't recently, you couldn't get it at the same time, so guess it's the newest card added to Clash Royale, and there are a lot of mixed feelings about it. Lots of people think it is too overpowered, there are lots of people that think it is okay, and there are the people that just think Clash Royale is making an overpowered card to try to steal people's money. And I did end up winning this challenge, first 12 wins that I've ever gotten, and I'll talk more about the mere challenge in a later video, as well I will other legendaries and other cards that I think have problems. I will go and talk about those in another video. But this one right here is just about the Royal Ghost and some of my thoughts about him. So it should hopefully be just a quick video. Now, the pros to the Royal Ghost. There are pros and cons to every card when it's added, what it does to other cards, checks and balances, what it does that other cards do, and how it makes other cards, how the other cards react to it. So, some pros I think that this card has is his invisibility adds new mechanics to the game, and there's new interactions, new ways that players must attack and defend towers. This has potential for new cards that can maybe attack him when he's invisible as like a special ability, or different mechanics that work in that way. So like a new mechanic being in the game, it can be used for so many more things than just him being invisible. Other cards can have like gimmicks that use that. Other spells could interact differently with things that are invisible, or troops that are not targetable by other things. And this could go either, but having a card that is invisible and must be played like a defensive troop. If there's a giant on your side, it's gonna go for the furnace. You have to place your troop so that it goes towards your troop and attacks it. It adds more of a skill gap by having it react differently like that, because it attacks everything. There are cons, and honestly there are much more cons than there are pros. So cons, he's too good at too many things right now, and this could be an addition of lots of things. It could be that players are not used to the card yet. I don't think that it's been globally launched globally launched. I don't think that it's possible to unlock him right now unless you want him in the challenge. So there are very few players that do have it out of the whole player base. So there is not really a meta developing with them, though there are already some popular decks. Um, and some things that he is too good at, right? He outclasses the knight for the damage, and he costs the same elixir, and he does more special things on top of that, right? So this is the thing for most things. He does things that other cards do, but does them better, and also has other things that make him better in other ways. Like the fact that he cannot be targeted by things until he attacks something. So he also does decent splash damage. It's not super good, but he can take out a Skarmy that's placed on him. Like take out most of them. If there's a Skarmy in front of him, he can kill that. He can kill Goblin Gang pretty well. So he does have splash damage. You got to keep that in mind. And he has the ability to make it so that other units can't target him, of course. And that's like one of the biggest ones. There's a lot of flaws with that. Like that ability, there's a lot of flaws in the way that it was executed and launched with this card. And he is very fast. Well, not very fast. He is fast. Technically, that's what his info card is. He's fast. So that's another thing. I believe the mini P.E.K.K.A is fast, so that he does a lot of damage. And he's also a cheap card at only 3 elixirs, so he does flash damage like a Dark Prince. He's invisible and can't take a ton of damage, or he's invisible until he attacks something and can't take damage from things targeting him, just like sort of like a bandit is invulnerable during her dash, except it's the whole time he's walking until he attacks something. And he's tanky like a knight and does more damage. So, yeah. He turns invisible after attacking an enemy, like back invisible after attacking something, way, way, way too quickly. That needs to be toned down, like, as soon as possible, pretty much. He turns way too quickly back into his state of being invisible and untargetable. And I do have some possible changes that I've come up with well, not that I've come up with, some possible changes that he could do that wouldn't change, like, how the card plays and interacts with well, it would change how it interacts with other troops, but it wouldn't change how he's used fundamentally. So, This needs to happen no matter what. He needs to the speed that he turns invisible after attacking needs to change no matter what if he's going to be considered a balanced card, unless they change the other things by such a noticeable amount that the fact that he turns invisible so quickly doesn't matter. But that needs to change like as soon as possible, and it should probably go in his tooltip for his card too, just how the bandit has the dash range. He needs to have this time that he turns invisible after attacking. That needs to be on his tooltip. You could reduce his damage, you could reduce his speed, you could reduce his health. Um, the ones I like the most are I like the health one, and I like the speed and the damage. I like all of those, not all three of them together, maybe two of them. So if you're gonna do like health and speed, then don't change his damage. See how it plays out first. And then you could also have him have a longer attack speed, right? Like a slower attack speed. So maybe instead of 1.7, it goes to 1.8 between every attack. So just get more towards the slower side. So he does a lot of damage when he hits with his vulnerability and stuff, but he attacks less often. And I think this needs to change too, is that have the other Royal Ghost cards, if there's like one from the enemy and yours, that they target each other even when in the ghost state, because I think that would just be a cool overall. Now, just as a conclusion, I think that he adds the fact that he adds new mechanics to the game. It's which is good. It expands the meta and allows for new types of decks, which with new or different win conditions, and this is a good thing. Past cards like for example Flying Machine, Cannon Cart, the Scouted Barrel have not changed the meta and are kind of underused. I didn't say the Zappies or Hunter because they are newer cards and people have less of them. They're not like upgraded to their tournament standards, so you're not going to see them as much on ladder. You could say that about Cannon Cart, Skeleton Barrel, and Flying Machine, but um, the other ones less so. I said Flying Machine, Skeleton Barrel less so. Skeleton Barrel is a common if you wanted to have it. Tournament standard, you probably could by donating or asking for donations. And same with Flying Machine, it's a rare. Cannon Cart, I don't have that one at tournament standard, I don't believe, but I haven't really focused it. I do have Flying Machine, Skeleton Barrel tournament standard though. So those ones haven't really changed the meta, and I'd say that players have those tournament standard if they wanted to by now. Um, But while he adds new gameplay elements, the Royal Ghost, he makes other cards kind of less favorable to use. And in a game like Clash Royale, which has tons of cards, variety is key. You don't want one card to do everything. The Royal Ghost does the job of too many cards right now, and he does them objectively better than those other cards. Splash damage, the Dark Prince, I think it's like the same range, except he can't even be targeted until he attacks something. That's better than the Dark Prince who has a shield, who is still technically taking damage. The cards notice him. He can't walk up to a princess without us shooting him. He can't go up to a Tesla and attack. No, I don't. No, Royal Ghost just goes right next to a Tesla. He's not going to bypass a Tesla and do some damage to the tower, right? The Knight, he doesn't have as much health as Knight, but he does more damage, and he is a surprise attacker too. It's the invisibility that makes him do things better than other cards. The Bandit is only invincible when she's dashing. The Royal Ghost can not be targeted by things for the entire time until he attacks something. And I didn't say invincible because he does still get hit by splash. You can still hit him with spells, all that stuff, while the Bandit goes right through them. And with the nerf or anything that's probably going to come, I don't see it not happening. I think that the Clash team should wait and see how the card develops and then make the decision to change him. Um, he needs time to work out like how the card works and all of that before they just change things. But one thing that like next balance update that they need to change if they're not touching anything else is he absolutely needs to turn invisible slower. That just needs to be changed as soon as possible. Like I said before, that's just it's kind of broken, honestly. If they place a princess at the bridge, you place Royal Ghost, princess is killed by Royal Ghost before the target can even tower can even hit it, he's invisible again. And that's just too strong. That is way too quickly. And that needs to be changed right away. But his health, damage, the other things should wait a little bit for more players to unlock it and more of a meta to develop. So, yeah, that's what I have to say about the Royal Ghost. And at the end of the video, I'm just going to talk about some things. I actually recorded, this is the third time recording the audio. The first time I was trying to talk over a video and it was bad. I was just all over the place. Second time I was rambling about things that I've decided would be better off in their own other videos, and it didn't chronologically make sense. So, yeah, here's this one. And sorry if my voice is a little bit gravelly or anything, but hopefully what I'm saying still makes sense and you can understand all that stuff. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, and if you're new to the channel, you should hit that subscribe button so you see new videos right when they come out. See you all later. Goodbye.